your dream is right there. You can see it. You can see
Yeah.
it. You know,
Yep.
what was your mindset like that, you know, that you knew that, hey, it's right here for me to go grab. How do I continue to stack on what I've done to get myself ready to make sure I'm ready for this opportunity that's in front of me?
Just, what I should have done better, was prepare for this next step. I wasn't prepared the way I should have prepared, man. Like I said, my goal was to get to the NFL, right? So mentally at that age, I could not even see past that goal. I should have been like, get 50 catches by year 2, or I should have been
Progression.
staying it right, but I didn't. I started, worrying about how I could make my family happier than me, or worrying about how I could make my friends not want to not hang around me, or how I could be the flyest in the room, or, my everything went the opposite way. I didn't have that guidance that guys have now that say, hey, bro, you ain't all that. Hey, give me that. Give me 100,000. I'm going to go open you up 2 Starbucks.
Yeah, that's real talk, man.
I didn't have that guidance that, that back then, it wasn't cool to do like it is now. See, now they made it so cool to invest your money that these guys are doing it. Where when I was coming out, it wasn't cool. I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't on mainstream, like, cool to do. Like, you wasn't seeing guys coming out and, buying houses for their mom, or you wasn't seeing guys do it as much as you see it now. And it's something I wish I would have done. I wish I'd have had someone, or I wish I'd have, and even if I did have someone, they didn't never do it before. So they were telling me what to do, but they never really went and showed me or did it. Right. So it's like, bro, you should do this, but you should do that. And it's like, that do sound good, but I need some motivation too, because if anything goes wrong, it's on me, right? So I need some motivation. Like, who do you know? And nowadays you have guys that are literally partnering with brands and companies and financial firms, NIL deals, to help them stay on the right path. And that's the best thing. I'm happy that that's happening now, because
man, it's a lot out there. It's a lot for these guys to get, and having the right people around you is very, very important, especially now with some of these guys making millions of dollars playing college ball. So
right. And that's the thing. They got to know that. See, at some point, we have to know that money doesn't always come back around. And in fact, never. Sometimes we're blessed and lucky to just have another opportunity to, be in the same space as we were before, right? Yeah. So now it's like, with these young men, when they're getting these NILs, they're positioning their money in places where they don't see it for another 10 to 12 years, 10 to 15 years. That's what I wish I had, so I could focus on football, and when I got out there, I definitely did what I was supposed to do, but it's the off the field stuff that young guys don't really understand, how much free time they have.
Yeah, especially when you get to the big league.
Yes, so much free time. I mean, you're in the building. Yeah, you get up there at 6 a.m., but you're done at 2 p.m., 3 p.m. What are you going to do from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.? And you can't call your teammates because they married with kids.
Right.
I'm 20 years old. I was 20 years old. I was 20 years old. I don't know what to do. So what I'm about to do, I'm about to get into some trouble, do something I shouldn't do, spend more money than I should be spending, just, and that's really what was going on with me in Houston, essentially. Imagine 20 years old in Houston.
Yeah.
3rd round pick. I'm like, shoot, this is the life, Not thinking I'm 20 years old. You a baby. You a kid. You got a whole lot of life to live.
A lot to live. Yeah, yeah.
So
Routine is important, man. That's the thing.
Very,
That's why
very
these stories are
important.
important, man. That's why stories like yours is important for guys to hear, because now we can go back hindsight and share the experience versus, being in it. And there's enough of these kind of stories now where, it's important for young athletes to really take hold and try to do it different than how we did it.
Yep. And I see guys, man, and the way they act, and the younger guys, maturity levels and stuff like that, man, it really plays a big part in the game, and your age, and leaving for the draft when it's time, and all that plays a big part. I've had a whole nother year. I should have probably stayed so I could mature a little bit more. Yeah, my gameplay and all that, what people see was ready, NFL ready, maybe, right? But I needed to mature mentally. I needed another year to see what it's like to sit my butt down and be patient. I wanted to leave, and I got what I wanted, and I shouldn't have been granted what I wanted. I should have been forced to stay another year and mature. So that way, when I got to the league, everything that was happening at a high rate, I didn't have to be so hypersensitive too. I was hypersensitive to everything. The way a coach looked at me, the way a coach talked to me, the way the lunch lady gave me my plate. Like, I don't know. I felt like everyone was against me. I was soft. I was hypersensitive. I was young and mature. And that's a lot what we see now today with these young guys. They are very, very good, but I think they forget that they are not bigger than the program, and the same way, I feel like as good as Justin Jefferson is, I feel like Minnesota thinks they'll see another one, as good as, Saquon Barkley is, I think Philadelphia believes they'll see another one. And that's just the way it goes, because over time it's proven itself,
Yeah.
Barry Sanders, you thought he was one of one. Yeah, he was. But then you got Saquon Barkley coming not too, another 15, 20 years later, right? The same with basketball and all. It's just these young guys, they're getting a lot of money. They're having their way, but they're not truly happy in what they are doing, because they got to, and what happens with that is just instant gratification, man. When you want something right now and you're used to receiving it over and over again, when I want it, I get it. When I want it, I get it. And now I'm in the NFL where they controlling everything. What you get is what they say you get.
Right.
And when you get it on their time.
Right.
Whether it's a catch, a target, whether it's a touchdown, a carry, a rush, it's not on your time. And that's what we signed up. That's what we signed up for.
Yeah.
And I think it's showing, you see receivers, we go through it a lot, with George Pickens recently, and then A.J. Brown before, all that stuff is just, it's hard to learn how to deal with that. When in our life have we been taught to how to deal with that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're always the guy, been the guy. Everyone's always been the one to bow down to you. Who do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And the minute you get there and you make one, I just open the book on the sideline. And now everyone's it's like hard. These guys don't know how to deal with that stuff, and they don't have no one has an answer for that. And it's because it's just something, maturity levels, man. It's like when we're big kids at big ages in grand schemes.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the NFL, it's like everyone, the same way you treat a little kid, we technically give athletes that same respect and regard. When they need something done, people run to it and get it done.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, with.
Man, you're making me excited, man. This is why your voice and these stories are really important, because, it's important that guys who've done it and seen it and been there, we know how we've been treated. And
Yeah, man.
now you
We
see how it also stunts your growth, your personal growth,
right.
because of how people show up for you in those things. And it's not saying that
Mm-hmm.
people shouldn't show up that way. It should. There's what we're saying is that when you look at what people are doing for you, you should be able to be humble and also be able to learn
Man.
and grow from it versus, take it for granted.